now we have to take you to BOST. The misunderstanding between the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC, and the bulk oil storage and transportation company, BOST, has gone a notch higher, with the former accusing BOST of causing financial loss to the state. According to COPEC, Ghana lost in excess of 30 million cedis in revenue from a transaction BOST had with an unlicensed company. Let's take you live to BOST now.
Who came to threat him now identify him as a friend of the managing director, Mr. Alfred Ovin. Even if he's supposed to go and do anything, I think that he'll keep the identity of the person secret. So this is very childish, if I call it. It's baseless, fallacious, and untruth. Just there to tarnish the image of the managing director. Because that is not important to us, because if somebody threatens you, there is laws in this country. So you can go ahead and report. So going to the media is not the solution of his problem, if there is. So we'll leave that issue as such. Coming back to his so-called allegation, which I will not call it allegation, because they are total display of lack of understanding of what happens in the oil industry. Now, Duncan Amoa make an assertion that we sold the product discounted by $2 per barrel. I want to put it on record that it is not out of place in the commodity market to give discount. Secondly, if you are buying anything and you are ready to pay cash, you are ready to do, instead of 90 days, 120 days, you are ready to do early settlement, you can be granted discount because there's value for money. You can invest the money earlier and get returns instead of waiting for the 90 days or 120 days or whatever credit period you have granted. And so giving discount is not out of place in this commodity business. Let me elaborate the issue, how the product came in, because he mentioned again that 1.8 million barrels of product have been sold out. The product that came in came to BOST, of course, TOR facilities on the 2nd February 2017. When the product came in, there was a credit period of 90 days. Which is 3 months. So it means that March, April, May, the product should be settled off. The decision that was made to sell the product is somewhere September. So it means that we couldn't pay for the product up to September because the product was locked because TOR had technical issue. The original intention is to refine that product. Because TOR have technical issue, the product couldn't be refined. And we keep postponing until September that a decision has to be made because we cannot keep suppliers' money for that long. They have a reputational issue because if you go to the international market, nobody is willing to trade with you because you are not able to honor your payment terms. So that decision was made to sell the product. When the product was sold in September, BB Energy, of course, because we are traders, a lot of people come to express interest in products. When you bring products into your tanks, always the reference point for pricing is Rotterdam. That is what we use as a company, and that is what most, about 99% of Ghanaian traders use. The product is in Ghana. So if they are shipping the product back, they will incur costs to do that. So giving them discount is not out of place to facilitate the movement of the product back to wherever they want to move it. The second issue that was raised that the product was sold at FOB. FOB, or CIF, is an international Incoterm in the trading business. If you sell at FOB, it means that you, the supplier, are making the product available on ship to the buyer, and you clear your hands of it. If you sell at CIF, it means that you are going to pay for insurance and freight to the destination of the buyer. We are not going to take care of those insurance and freight. So we decided to sell the product FOB, which is the prudent commercial decision. Because incurring additional costs, which you don't know how much it will be, and hiring a freight, you don't also know what may happen. So we made the decision of selling the product at FOB and then clear our hands of it. The decision of refining the product after it is sold, or it was sold, is a decision that BOST was not involved. We have sold our product. You're supposed to pick out outside the country. What we do as BOST is that we apply for a laycan so that they can pump the product back to the jetty and send it out of the country. So many times, it was no avail. We couldn't get the laycan for them to move the product. Subsequently, we were informed that GB Energy and TOR has gone to an arrangement to refine the product. And so we, the owners of the product, have to inform TOR accordingly about the transfer of ownership so that they can refine the product, which we did. So the decision of refining the product is not BOST's decision. It's the buyer's decision. The arrangement of TOR and the buyer is not BOST. BOST is not involved because we are not supposed to involve. He has bought the product, the transaction is sealed. So that decision is not ours to make. Now, there is another allegation he raised that the company was unlicensed. Before I answer that, let me ask you, if any of you buy product to Côte d'Ivoire, to any refinery, anywhere, that you want to refine your product, do you need a license of that country before you can refine your product? I don't think you do. If you buy a product and send it to Côte d'Ivoire to go and refine the product in their refinery, you don't need to register there before you can get your product refined. TOR can have crude from anywhere and they'll refine. Any supplier who will bring crude to TOR doesn't need a license in Ghana before he can get his product refined at all. So that is a total display of ignorance in the industry. Now, this issue that is happening, I will tell you a history about BOST, and you, the friends of media, have to monitor it closely. 2015 March, BOST was in the media about BOST and TSL transaction. 2016 March, BOST was in the media about BOST and staff restructuring and TSL transaction. 2017 March, BOST was in the media over contaminated products. We are in March. BOST is again in the media. We understand the history behind this because every time and then, BOST revives its operation. And when the signal fall out there, because some traders will not be happy, and they have always not been happy for BOST to improve on, then they will come threatening using other means, shape and form. So we are not surprised, and we are not threatened by Duncan Amoy's statement. If I sell product today and you are willing to pay me earlier, or you are willing to give me a discount, I, the trading head, in consultation with the managing director, have the right to give as much as 5% discount. And that is the trading policy. As much as you are willing to pay cash, and you are willing to pay earlier than the agreed term that we grant to everybody, which is 45, 30 days, depending on your risk assessment, we are willing to grant you that discount. And so it marvels us that the so-called Dankanama, who is COPEC, you have to come here to understand. We are willing to teach you about the nitty-gritties of this trade so that when you go out there, you go and make your pronouncement accurately. He make a statement that he's aligning this because of fuel price increases in the country. As a trader, I understand fully what contributes to fuel price increases. The fuel that we buy in Ghana is one of the most quality fuel in the world. It's what they use in Europe because of the effect on emission effect on the environment. We used to do 500 ppm. Today, we are doing 50. So it means that the quality, if you are doing A plus, today you are doing A plus plus, and that is accounted for the increases, which is the best decision in this time of the world that everybody is talking about, the environmental impact on emissions. So that is the basis of the increases in fuel prices. If the nation make a decision that let's resort to our old sulfur content of 500, then the fuel prices will go down. Of course, that is not the only factor, but it's one of the key factors in determining prices. So these allegations, as I said, are unfounded. They are just display of ignorance. If Duncan Amoah will do any good to the COPEC group, I don't even know whether they are doing anything to the consumers. But I think you have to understand how petroleum prices at the OTC level will be translated to the pump station level. It is a whole value chain that he needs to understand. Then when he understands that, he will be able to pronounce whether things are done in a way that the consumers are getting value or not. Until then, all he's doing is just a waste of time because he cannot bring anything. Your complaints, Dankamwan complaints, has not reduced prices ever since it started because it has remained just baseless complaints. Prices are increasing. Now, understand the value chain. And when you understand the value chain, you'll be able to address which of the areas that are non-value added, that is in the price buildup, which of the areas that we can address that will reduce the prices. Even when prices are decreasing at the fuel station, the pump station, does it get any immediate reflection of the reduction? If it doesn't, his job is to understand how do we translate that to the pump station, because that is where the customers get value. Until he understands that, he will continue to now fabricate stories, defaming people, which, again, will not solve the problem of Ghanaians. BOST, as a company, is resolute, and we are going to make sure that these prices increases, which we have started already putting things in order. When it comes to full fruition, everybody in Ghana here will now see the reduction on gradual basis. And we are not going to lose focus because of these allegations. We are not. We are going to make sure that we achieve that for the ordinary person on the street, which include me and you, will benefit from this company that belongs to all of us. Thank you.
All right. I think at this stage you allow the consultant to make a comment.
Yes, I did. I told you that any company bringing fuel to the oil, to the refinery, don't need license before they come and refine. And the decision of refining is not our decision; it's them.
Do you want to make a few comments, and then we invite some questions?
The press. One thing I'd like to elaborate is we have come to know the fuel game like the game of football. I mean, suddenly all of the... I heard today we are 29 million Ghanaians. So suddenly we have just become, as we have become expert football coaches, we have suddenly decided to become expert fuel contributors. I'm only giving you from an independent view. You know, oil is traded in two forms in our West African sub-region. Basically, Nigeria determines what the pricing is, in the region because they are the largest producer of 2.2 million. But Nigeria produces more than 2.2 million because that is the quota that OPEC has given them. If you go today to Nigeria and you want to buy crude, NNPC will sell you what we call the shell, which means that you can buy at a discount of about $1.50. So here NNPC, which is the regulator in Nigeria, is offering a $1.50 discount. And if you want to buy off OPEC, which Nigeria produces, and they have independent producers, close to about 3.5 million barrels a day, you can buy today at -6. So for somebody to tell you that they bought crude at -2, I mean, it's within the industry standard. Albert touched on the fact that the crude came in February. 90 days credit, letter of credit. The owners of the product after 90 days wanted their money, and it was restructured and restructured and restructured until September. Can you imagine the cost of restructuring on BOST? I mean, let's take, for instance, that the fuel or the cost of crude was hypothetically at $50 million, and you open a letter of credit for 90 days. It costs you between $11 and $12 to finance a ton of fuel. So let's say 1 million barrels of fuel, divide that by 7.2 or 7.3. You'll probably get 142,000 metric tons for that. Okay, 142 metric tons at $11 minimum cost of finance, opening letters of credit, getting the letters of credit confirmed by a Class A bank, because no buyer of crude will accept our banks. I mean, when we talk about banks, I mean, of course, we have AAA banks in Ghana. So that is the essence of looking at what the cost of financing the product is. So we're talking about $11 already. Plus, the fuel gets to the jetty, it's going to be discharged, it goes into the tank. It costs $5 per metric ton to store per month. So I'm not here to say anything on the transaction, because the transaction was purely a decision of BOST. My comment, or adding to the foundation or to the basis of a wise decision, when you have products sitting in your tanks for 8 months, cost of finance, cost of storage, cost of stock monitoring, because you need to find a stock monitoring company that will go every day and go and do dip checks and make sure that your product is so-called refinable. I'm not here to jab with anyone, but I just want to pass the message on. The product was stored in tank farms. When we say in tank farms, we're talking about short tanks, tanks that are actually above ground. So when the tank is above ground, its products inside the short tanks are managed differently. And if products stay in tank for more than a certain period, they tend to lose its value. When we say lose its value, when you have fresh products coming off the ground within the first 3 months or 4 months and you refine, your yield is X. When you have products sitting in your tanks for 1 year and you refine, your yield is Y. So that's my take on the matter. I don't think BOST made, it's not my decision to say if BOST made money on this deal or not. but the $2 to get their money back as quickly as possible. And as Albert said, they paid cash. It's very, very prime, because today we're sitting down here, even if you want to go and buy a car off the streets, and the guy tells you it's 40,000 cedis, and you take out 30,000 cash, and you throw it on the table, and then you jiggle with him, I'm sure you can walk away with 32 or 35,000. So imagine if somebody is coming to pay you cash and take away your headache.
All right. Thank you.
You've listened to the people who are normally doing the trading in the form of Albert, and we have a very renowned consultant. So at this stage, any question regarding the issue at stake you can ask, but maybe we'll take about approximately between 5 and 10 questions. So anybody who wants to have a question, you get to mention your name, the news house you are coming from, and then you throw your question. Do you want to mention your name so that I will take your...
My name is Nasib. Nasib Akil, yes. The surname says it all, you know, so.
Any question, we have our senior colleague in the form of news editor for the Daily Guide. Alaji, you want to ask some questions?
I think I'm okay. I'm okay with the explanation.
Any questions? Michael.
My name is Michael. Mr. Mante, we did one of our incidents from 2015, where almost every
March.
This kind of negative stories, let me put it that way, coming from the media against coming from you have noticed that this is what is happening. I mean, what steps has the management taken to make sure that every year settings are curtailed?
Thank you for your question. Before I answer your question, I would like to use a very common simulation that we all see on a daily basis. You see, if somebody is known like a virgin, a woman is known as a virgin in a community, everybody will try and approach her. Once you call her and she comes, then she's a prostitute. Once she doesn't come, then she's too known. That is what is happening. BOST is a prime company. It's a solution of the oil crisis in Ghana. And it also means that when BOST become what it's supposed to become, a lot of private companies are going to also experience some small, slight difficulties, again, from the start. And because of that, some of these things are highly designed mechanisms, okay? But concealed in a way that to come in a form trying to defame the integrity of the company so that nobody will now give you credit. Nobody will do business with you so that they will continue to get what they want. Position of management is simple. After all, there are so many people who didn't know about BOST. If these negative stories didn't come, I didn't know about BOST. So fine. It's one way that they are getting publicity. BOST is getting known, of course, but in a different and negative direction. What we are going to do as a company is to make sure that what is threatening them have to now come to life. BOST's vibrant activity is what is threatening and inciting this. So we have to make sure that this company now come full and live on its operation so that the very thing that is threatening them now is available. So then, what are you going to talk about? So that is the way management is putting day in and day out all the effort to make sure that the place becomes what it's designed to be. All fuel across the country, prices are stabilized, everybody is happy, and then whatever they would want to do, we are fine with it because BOST is now doing what it's supposed to do. And that is what we are doing.
Over the weekend, a friend called me and said, there was this document from your outfit, which probably is in the possession of Mr. Duncan. What kind of management or mechanisms are you putting in place to make sure that, the staff here don't leak vital or salient information to some of these guys to use it against the organization?
Yes. What you are saying is partly true. Information goes out from the company, okay? Maybe visitors comes here, and then when staff are going out, they also go to places and pick certain things. Maybe the staff are doing it. Now, I think management, if you look at the places entering, there's cameras all over the place. There are access control. So these are some of the things our management have put in place. One of the things I recommend, and I'm going to ensure is firmly done, if a staff is caught leaking information to the public, we all sign oath of secrecy. We are not saying that it's a secret society. The company is open and transparent the way it's supposed to be. However, if you come here and leak information, destroying where you are eating from, then you don't like the food that is being produced here. So we will not even pass you through the channel, which is condition of service committee, this, that. You go home and go to court, and we'll deal with that. Because no institution tolerates this, and we are not going to tolerate this. This company, all this started at a point, which I will not take you back deep into the history. But I believe that with this new orientation, management putting in the minds of staff to own the company is yours. It's a Ghanaian company. Everybody working here is a Ghanaian. So own it. If you destroy it, you came to meet it. Somebody destroyed it. We wouldn't have come and meet it. So protect it. And then when you go, somebody else too can come and eat from it. So with this new orientation, I think the staff are also singing along, trying to protect what they're supposed to protect. The issue of having document in possession of Dankanamo and all those stuff. I'll tell you a story. We were here that somebody wrote on BOST letterhead that MD of BOST have resigned. It was on BOST letterhead. You see, some of the IT and new innovations in IT, some of these things is not something that we can solely say our staff are doing. But we do whatever we're supposed to do to ensure that our staff don't do that, if they do. Thank you. Yes.
My name is Sixtus. I work for City of Campo. Closely related to the first question he asked about the kind of, I want to relate it to the kind of relationship that there might be between BOST on the one hand and Duncan Amwa and his organization on the other hand. When I read Duncan Amwa and I listen to you, I feel this kind of a personal, you can call it disgruntlement. I don't know. What is the kind of relationship that there is even between the two institutions? And going beyond the institutions, are there individual and personal issues that you think might have come to affect these things that are happening? Now, if you look at, again, the organization of Duncan Amwa, it's crucial to your work. Same way yours is crucial to his organization. How, beyond these kinds of traits of ways, how are the two organizations working in a manner that will ensure that the consumer benefits positively? Are there any points of cooperation between the two organizations?
Thank you very much, my brother. BOST as a company, own mandate is to ensure that the individuals in the society benefit from price stabilization. And that's the reason why we have our depots all across the country. There is no relationship between Duncan Amwa and BOST. And if you look at COPEC, if COPEC is an institution that is claiming to be or have any insight into the business of oil, they should do a lot of good. If you monitor the oil pricing carefully in the global market, it's not crude though, it's a refined product. How many people buy crude in Ghana here? So if you are COPEC, your concentration is refined products. That is first thing. Two, you going out there and attack BOST. We don't control prices in the world. We don't even set prices in Ghana. We don't even sit on the board that determine pricing in Ghana. We are not involved. So if prices are increasing, BOST doesn't come in. BOST mandate is to ensure that we have the product in the system. It's not about pricing. However, because pricing is key to the populace of Ghanaians, our mandate is to ensure that it's not escalated to a level. However, because we don't have all the products in all the depots, and it's also mean business to some people when the price escalations are high, you see what is happening. The mischief of Dankanamwa, I will not ascribe it to any institution, because COPEC is not any institution. You know, it's an individual. Because an institution will sit down to now analyze what is influencing pricing increases or decreases and see how they can contribute to addressing the situation. Institution will sit down and not go on air and say that somebody said it's your friend, he came to attack me whilst the police are there. You understand? There is history to COPEC. I want you to go to Registrar General Department, all of you, and go and check who are the directors of COPEC. I don't have a problem with COPEC. Anybody can form a company. But if COPEC is formed and they want to protect consumers, then they need to understand the industry. Quite recently, they attacked Tor. That Tor is not refining, so that they should shut it down. He said, this is a clear demonstration of ignorance. Tor doesn't do only refining. They do blending. They do storage. They do LPG storage. A lot of things. Because they are not refined, they should shut it down. Then you shouldn't even be close to fuel. You don't understand what you are doing. And because of that and lack of understanding, and you misrepresenting the people of Ghana as if you are doing something for them, that is the reason why I speak that passionate. I don't know him. But if you want to do something for Ghanaians, do it right. I should be able to sit with NP or whoever is setting the price and now tell them that this is the trend. So why is it that the pump station are not reducing it? That is where his focus should be, because that is where value will be granted to Ghanaians. I hope your question is answered. Thank you. Yes, sir.
My name is BOST, also registered in Shady directors.
Yes, because COPEC don't have office. COPEC don't have office anywhere. Oh, okay. Somebody's, okay.
I'm asking this.
Yes.
Because I have done that. I've checked. But I'm not here to mention the names. Will you be surprised to see that any of your staff, but for senior staff, members and directors of COPEC?
Will I be surprised? If you say they are members of staff.
Even one of them is a member of the board of directors.
Yes.
Or one of the directors
of yes. Okay.
I know what I'm talking about.
All right. Okay.
You should go and check.
Yes.
You see the names. What will happen to that such a person?
Well,
you mentioned there's an issue of oath of secrecy.
Yes.
Which is very legal.
Yes.
So if you see such a person, what will happen?
Yes. You see, let me answer your question. It is not a violation for any Ghanaian to work for a company and own a company. Okay? That's the first thing we have to notice. Now, if a staff go to open a company in competition with the company, there is an issue. If a staff go to open a company to defame the company that is working for, is an issue. So do you agree that they are using their company to defame BOST? You agree with that? So there is a conflict of interest. Yes. Yes, so once that conflict of interest is established, there is policies in the company that we're going to use.
Can we put off the cameras for just 3 minutes and let me explain something? Since all of you are here, it would be good for you to learn something. I mean, I'm not saying I want to teach you something, but I think whatever I'm going to tell you is really going to benefit you to understand what is really happening in the country and the existence of BOST. So please, what I'm going to say should be definitely off record. Okay? We agree on that?
Yeah.
All right. BOST has 5 depots, namely Accra Plains, Kumasi, Akoso. Actually, there are 6. So it's APD, Accra Plains, in Tema. We'll have Akosombo, and then we have Manuwata, and then we have Kumasi, we have Buipe, and we have Bolga. So if you look at BOST, it is strategically situated, or the tanks or the storage is strategically situated, and it was properly planned. So apart from the 7 BDCs in Ghana, who actually have their own tank farms and all of that, the rest of the BDCs are all parasites. And when we say they are all parasites, is because they are feeding into BOST's infrastructure to actually make money. But BOST is also gaining because it's renting the storage space. So the attack on BOST, from the perspective, from the energy, I mean, when we talk about the energy sector, you have to understand that BOST plays a very strategic, important role when it comes to securing contracts with the majors. When we're talking the majors, we're talking the big boys, who are the fuel traders in Geneva. So Mercuria, Augusta, Trafigura, Petra, Moco, all of these guys.
Thanks for staying here on the Dawn News channel. Now, the misunderstanding between the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC, and the bulk oil storage and transportation company, BOST, has gone a notch higher, with the former accusing BOST of causing financial loss to the state. According to COPEC, Ghana lost in excess of some 30 million cedis in revenue from a transaction BOST had with an unlicensed company. Let's take you back to the BOST head office here in Accra, where the company has been responding to these allegations.
Per month, we can calculate. Let's say 1% is about $5,000, right? So $10,000 per month. 50,000, about $500,000. Also $1 million, close to that figure. $1 million, right? Yeah. Because 1% is about 500,000, so $1 million per month. The product overstayed for 9 months. So assuming we are continuing with the hope that what is claiming that the international prices are increasing. As for the prices, it's fluctuating. It can increase, reduce. If the price increases and you don't have a buyer, what do? How do you sell? You understand? So it doesn't just, it's not logic to say, okay, prices have increased. Yeah, prices might increase. But if nobody has come to buy, who are you going to sell it to? So it's just practically impossible about his accusation. There's no financial loss. If I kept that product, which they have taken us to court because of the overdue of the debt, put the court charges, put the LC that you have established, and put all together and see, compared to your $2, which again is a commercial arrangement, which we do. It's everybody in the world doing business, which of course, even your morning shows and things, when people come and do it, you give discount. It's not out of place. You haven't caused any commercial extent. So I will take only 2 questions.
Saying that a company does not require license to refine, but I want to find out, is BB Energy a licensed company?
Well, I think I've answered that question. I didn't say the company don't require license. What I said is that if I go to Ivory Coast, that I want my product refined, assuming I'm Ghanaian, I bought crude, and I go to Ivory Coast, that I want my crude to refine, would I need to register in Ivory Coast before they will refine my product?
But is BB Energy a licensed company?
Of course, BB Energy is an internationally accredited company. They do import, export, fuel, and all that. Now, the question is, if they are not internationally, it's not a company that do oil, how then did we owe them? That's the first question. Because the same oil trading that we owe them on. Okay? I told you that the decision of refining the product, when they bought the product, they're supposed to take it out. I've sold my product to you. You deciding to refine, it's not my business anymore. The arrangement between TOR and Go and BB Energy, it's not our business anymore. We are not in. Okay? So that is the way we can go. Once I've sold it to you, you determine what you want to do with the product. Yeah, last question, please.
So let's go back to the discounts.
Yes.
You talk about BOST being at liberty to give discounts.
Yes.
Whoever is, has the cash to pay. I want to know why $2, if that is what it is. Why not $1, $4, $5? And then my next question has to do with, you mentioned that some of the crude is still sitting with you while TOR is refining part of it. So are they paying for you storing the rest of it?
No, we have sold the product. I'll start from your question. I've sold the product. The product is no longer yours. So wherever it is and whatever is happening to the product, it's not your business.
Even if it is sitting in your tank?
It's not in our tank. It's at TOR. So it's not our business. Now the arrangement of storage fee and everything is TOR and the BB Energy. The issue of why 201, I already mentioned to you that we had the liberty in consultation as traders to give as much as 5% discount. You see, there is something you need to understand. In business, before everybody will give you a discount, then that means has factored it in his pricing. Nobody gives discount because you want to give discount. Because my pricing structure has something to address a particular rate. And I've told you that I have the authority to go with consultation with management as far as 5%. 3/56 is less than, it's about 3% or so, or less, around that figure. Okay, it doesn't mean we throw our money on. It means that we have catered for in our pricing structure already before we give out those discounts. So it's not out of place. We haven't caused any financial loss to the state. We have been able to rather curtail the legal actions with its corresponding costs and all the ancillary reputational damages that will occur both in the international market. We have bring a stop to all of that.
All right, so just a last question. Yes, do you know that BOST is a strategic, stock taker of refined crude? But what we do not know, and I'm quickly seek clarity on, is whether or not the reasons behind engaging in buying and selling. And of course, finally, I would want to know shortly whether or not BOST is indebted and how much exactly.
All right. The issue of BOST being strategic reserve country and why are they doing trading? The oil loses its quality if you keep it over time. So in order to refresh the oil, what do? You sell it. And two, I don't believe that you have to build a tank farm and say, I'm storing product in there. Keep it 3 months. Employ 500 people. Let them sit 3 months, then they work. Go and sit down 3 months, then they work. In the course of doing your business, you have to make sure that product is available, and you will refresh it on constant basis. So it is not an issue of strategic or not strategic. It's a pure business decision to keep refreshing the product so that it doesn't lose its quality. Then your next question is what? I think.
The amount of investment.
Yes. I don't think there's any company in Ghana here who doesn't owe. Every company owes, including TOR, including your company. Everybody owes. The issue of how much, I think the issue of how much is an issue that BOST management have to deal with. It's not part of the issue that we are being accused of. It's an issue that when you come as a private person, you want to understand, and maybe you have some investors, you want to, then we can expose the debt in its quantum. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. At least for now, as to how much BOST debt is. Yes. So when you come, I'll be able to assist you on that. All right. So thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, I think we'd like to end this session so that you can file for the midday news. We'd like, no, please don't switch your lights on here. It's just one last thing. You end it with Albert making an emphatic statement on the death threats. he's going to make an emphatic statement about it, and then we can. So please, we want your news to be in line with the crude, the sale of the crude, and the death threat.
Those were some responses from the BOST company on allegations leveled against them by COPEC. They've said, or they maintain, they've done nothing wrong with the sale of some 1.8 million barrels of oil to 1BB Energy. They also insist that there's nothing out of place with regards to the discounts that they gave that particular company. More on this, and let's just listen to Mr. Mante briefly.
To now go and support his claim, and whoever threatens him, he now have to go through the law to answer those questions. Thank you.
Well, that'll be it for this press conference by BOST on allegations leveled against them by COPEC, and the allegations are that they sold some 1.8 million barrels of oil to BB Energy, causing financial loss to the state in the process, because according to COPEC, there was some discount that they gave that particular company. We've just heard from BOST. They're saying that the discounts aren't out of place, that per their pricing, discounts are actually factored in there. And we just heard from the head of fuel distribution department saying that he actually has the power to give as much as 5% discount to any company that's ready to pay cash for any product. We'll be bringing you more on this in subsequent bulletins, plus a reaction from COPEC, definitely one on that. Stay tuned to the Joy News channel. I'm Bernice Abubedu. Thanks for watching.